You're 10 minutes late, and that's all it takes for me to see you're not cut out for this, Victor Harlan snarled, his voice slicing through the echoing foyer of his Chicago penthouse like a blade. Aisha Thompson froze mid-step, her uniform crisp but her boots crusted with snow from the brutal trek. Victor's eyes narrowed, locking onto her dark skin, as if it amplified her fault. People like you think rules bend, but in my world, they don't. Aisha's chest tightened, her pulse hammering. She opened her mouth. Sir, the bus... Excuses, he cut in, his fist slamming the marble counter. The sound echoed, jolting the nearby chef who pretended not to hear. Victor stepped closer, his tailored suit a stark contrast to her faded apron. You clean my floors, not dictate my time. Reliability isn't optional. It's mandatory. Or did you forget that in whatever neighborhood you crawled from? His words stung, laced with that unspoken divide, the one where her black heritage made her delays seem like defiance. Her jaw clenched, fingers gripping the mop handle until knuckles whitened. Memories flashed. The all-night vigil at her grandmother's bedside, the pharmacy line in the freezing dawn, the empty wallet after sending every penny to her daughter's college fund. But Victor didn't pause. Pack your things, you're done. Security will escort you out. He tossed her final paycheck across the counter, the envelope skidding to her feet. Aisha's breath hitched, rage boiling beneath her calm facade. She bent to pick it up, her eyes meeting his in a silent challenge. The other staff shifted uneasily, whispers rippling like cracks in ice. Victor turned away, already dialing his next meeting, dismissing her existence with a wave. But as she straightened, a small vial of heart medication slipped from her pocket, rolling to his shoe. He kicked it aside without a glance, the tiny clink lost in his indifference. The door slammed behind her, the cold wind whipping her face as she stepped into the storm. Inside, Victor's phone buzzed, but a flicker crossed his face, the vial now under his desk, unnoticed yet nagging. Aisha trudged forward, her steps heavy, the city swallowing her whole. Victor poured coffee, his hands steady, but the burn in his throat matched the unease creeping in. The divide he'd widened now loomed, a chasm he couldn't yet see. Aisha's eyes blazed, but she forced her voice steady, the envelope crumpling in her fist. One day you'll see that my silence isn't weakness. It's the storm you ignored. Victor scoffed, crossing his arms, his face a mask of contempt. Save the poetry for someone who cares. Out. Now. She didn't flinch. Instead, she squared her shoulders, the weight of her hidden burdens pressing down like lead. Her mind raced, the daughter's tuition overdue, the labored breaths over the crackling phone line last night, the endless nights scrubbing floors to scrape by in a city that chewed up women like her. But begging? No, that would shatter the dignity she'd clawed from nothing. Aisha turned on her heel, her boots scraping the polished tile, each step a defiant echo in the silent foyer. The chef averted his eyes. The gardener froze with his clippers mid-snip, but she felt their stares burning her back, pity mixed with fear. Victor's command sliced again. And don't think about references. You're blacklisted in my circles. The word hung heavy, laced with that undercurrent of bias, as if her skin sealed her fate. Aisha paused at the door, her hand on the knob, knuckles white. She wanted to hurl the truth at him, the pharmacy delay, the snow-slick streets that turned a simple errand into a battle. But words failed. Pride surged instead. You'll remember this moment, she said, her tone low and cutting, like a blade drawn slowly. When the cold you threw me into comes back for you. He laughed, sharp and dismissive, waving her off as the security guard appeared, his grip firm on her arm. Escort her to the street. Make sure she doesn't steal anything on the way. The accusation stung deeper than the wind outside, her cheeks burning as they marched her through the hall she'd cleaned spotless for years. Whispers followed. Another one gone, from the shadows. Aisha bit her lip until copper tasted, refusing tears. Outside, the blizzard howled, flakes stinging her face like accusations. She clutched her coat tighter, the vial's absence a phantom ache in her pocket. She hadn't noticed it fall. Victor watched from the window, his coffee cooling untouched. A twinge gnawed at him, her words echoing faintly. but he shook it off, turning back to his empire. Yet as Aisha vanished into the whiteout, her silhouette fading, the unease lingered, a crack in his armor he couldn't patch. The storm raged on, mirroring the turmoil she'd left behind. Victor paced the foyer, his footsteps sharp against the tile, the echo mocking his dismissal. Aisha's words clung like frost. "When the cold you threw me into comes back for you," he snorted, shoving the unease down, but his eyes snagged on the floor, a small glass vial glinting under the desk edge. He knelt, fingers brushing the cold label. Heart medication, prescribed to an elderly woman in New Orleans. His brow furrowed, a jolt ripping through him. Whose was this? Hers? The name on it blurred in his grip, but the address screamed familiarity, echoes of his father's old haunts. He straightened, vial clutched tight, his pulse quickening. Flashbacks hit hard, his father's drunken confessions years ago about a fleeting affair in the South. A woman left behind. A child, maybe. Victor's jaw tightened, shoving the thought away. Coincidence. But doubt gnawed, sharp as the winter wind howling outside. He pocketed the vial, his hand trembling for the first time that day. The staff scattered as he barked orders, but his voice cracked mid-sentence, the chef glancing up in surprise. Outside, Aisha battled the gale, her coat whipping, each gust a punch to her resolve. She trudged blocks, the vial's loss unnoticed amid the ache in her bones. Her phone buzzed weakly, her daughter texting about exams, oblivious to the firing. Aisha's teeth chattered, but she texted back, "Hang in there, baby. Mama's got this." Lies, but strength surged through her veins like fire. She collapsed on a snow-dusted bench in Grant Park, the city lights blurring as exhaustion claimed her, body curling against the freeze. Back in the penthouse, Victor slammed his office door, the vial on his desk now a glaring accusation. He poured scotch, the burn failing to drown the knot in his gut. Her face replayed, defiant eyes, unbowed stance. What if the delay wasn't laziness? What if it was desperation? He scrolled through contacts, fingers hovering over a private investigator's number, but pride halted him. Instead, he stared at an old photo on his phone. His father, arm around a mystery woman at a jazz club, her smile wide, skin dark like Aisha's. The resemblance struck like lightning. Same sharp cheekbones, same unyielding gaze. His chest heaved, regret clawing up his throat. He hurled the glass, shards scattering like his composure. The storm outside intensified, mirroring his inner chaos. He grabbed his coat, the vial burning in his pocket, a seed of doubt sprouting roots. What had he unleashed? The unease twisted deeper, pulling him toward the door, the cold calling him out. But he hesitated, the Empire's demands chaining him. Yet the vial's weight grew, a mystery begging unraveling, hinting at ties he never imagined. The night stretched on, the first crack in his world widening, drawing him into the freeze he'd condemned her to. "Damn it, what have I done?" Victor growled at his reflection in the fogged mirror, his fist smashing into the sink edge, pain shooting up his arm like fire. The vial burned in his pocket, a relentless accusation pulling him from the warmth of his empire into the howling night. He yanked on his coat, buttons flying loose, and stormed out, the penthouse doors slamming with finality. No driver tonight, too personal, too raw. He hit the streets, boots crunching ice, his breath visible in furious puffs. The city assaulted him, horns blaring, shadows lurking in alleys where he'd never ventured. "Where the hell are you?" he muttered, dialing the security guard who'd escorted her. "The black maid? Yeah, Aisha. Where'd she go after?" The guard stammered. "Just into the snow, sir. Looked headed downtown." Victor hung up, rage fueling his strides. He flagged a cab, barking, "Grant Park now." The driver eyed him warily. "Storm's bad, man. You sure?" Victor's glare silenced him, the cab lurching forward. Memories clawed, her defiant stare, the envelope skidding, the vial's label mocking his blindness. "People like you," he'd spat, the words now poison in his throat. He scrolled her employee file on his phone, fingers numb, address outdated, references sparse, a single note. Reliable, quiet. Quiet? She'd been invisible and he'd insured it. The cab hit a pothole, jolting him. "Faster," he snapped. Outside, figures huddled in doorways, their eyes hollow, black faces mostly, enduring what he'd inflicted. He leapt out of the park, wind knifing his face, scanning benches like a hunter. Empty. Snow blanketed everything, erasing tracks. Panic surged, his heart pounding. "Aisha!" he shouted, voice swallowed by the gale. A homeless man stirred nearby. "Seen a woman in a maid uniform? Black, mid-30s?" The man shrugged. "Lots come through. Try the shelters." Victor's fists clenched. Shelters? He'd driven her there. He sprinted to the nearest, breath ragged, bursting in. "I'm looking for Aisha Thompson. She worked for me." The attendant scowled. "We don't give out names. And we're full. Storms packed us." Frustration boiled over. He slammed 100 on the counter. "Just check." The attendant pocketed it, scanning logs. "No, Aisha. Try the one on Michigan Ave." Victor bolted, the cold seeping into his bones, mirroring her probable agony. Hours blurred, shelter after shelter, faces blurring into accusation. At one, a woman sneered, "Boss like you? Probably fired her for nothing. We see it daily. Black women tossed out like trash." Her words struck, his denial crumbling. He leaned against a wall, vial in hand, turning it over. The prescription date, recent, urgent. What desperation drove her delay? He pushed on, legs aching, into the financial district, where his own towers loomed mocking. A jogger paused. "Yeah, saw someone like that on a bench near the lakefront. Looked rough." Victor ran, chest heaving, the park's edges materializing. There, a slumped form, snow-capped, unmoving, his gut twisted. "Aisha!" He closed in, shaking her shoulder, her skin ice cold. No response. Terror gripped him. He dialed 911, voice cracking. "Woman down, hypothermic. Grant Park bench, hurry!" He stripped his coat, wrapping her, his body shielding the wind. Her pulses faint, breaths shallow. "Hold on," he whispered, guilt crashing like waves. Sirens wailed distant, his resolve hardening. This search wasn't over. It was just beginning. The vial slipped out, rolling into the snow, but he clutched her tighter, the mystery deepening in the freeze. "Get up, sister. You can't stay here," Aisha rasped, her voice cutting through the wind as she shook the shoulder of a shivering woman huddled under a cardboard box in the alley. The woman's eyes fluttered open, wide with fear, her black skin chapped from the freeze. "They'll move you along. Come on, I know a spot." Aisha's own legs screamed in protest, numb from hours trudging after the firing, but she hauled the stranger up, sharing her thin scarf like a lifeline. The woman's grip tightened, nails digging into Aisha's arm. "Why help me? You look half dead yourself." Aisha's jaw set, pain shooting through her frozen toes. "Because I've been you, and someone helped me once." Flashbacks assaulted her. New Orleans floods, her mother's fierce hugs before the cancer took her, leaving Aisha to raise her daughter alone. She pushed forward, guiding the woman to a diner overhang, the neon sign flickering like false hope. "Sit, I'll get coffee." Her wallet was empty save for Victor's crumpled check, but she bartered with the owner, cleaning tables for 2 steaming cups. Sipping the bitter brew, the woman confessed. "Lost my job, too. Boss said I was unreliable. Code for too black, too mouthy." Aisha's fist balled under the table, her breath hitching. "Mine fired me for being 10 minutes late. Didn't ask why." The words tumbled out, raw. The grandmother's heart attack flare up. The pharmacy wait in pre-dawn chill. The bus that never came. Tears pricked, but she blinked them back, hammering her resolve like steel. "We don't break. We build." She pulled out her phone, battery dying, and dialed her daughter. "Baby, you studying?" "Good. Mama's fine. Just a long day." Lies, but her voice steadied, infusing warmth across the line. The woman nodded, strength mirroring in her eyes. "You're tough. Got family?" Aisha's chest ached, visions of her grandmother's frail hands clutching pills, the vial now lost, panic flickering but shoved down. "Yeah, and I'll get back to them." They parted with a fierce hug, the woman vanishing into the night. Aisha pressed on, wind slashing her cheeks, spotting another figure, a kid, barely a teen, shivering alone. "Hey, kid! Over here!" She stripped her glove, pressing it into his hand with her last protein bar. "Eat. Stay warm." His thanks mumbled, but her heart surged, defiance fueling her steps. Exhaustion clawed deeper, her vision blurring as she reached the park bench. She slumped, body betraying her will, the cold invading like an enemy. But even fading, her mind raced. Plans to call shelters tomorrow, wire money home, rebuild. Strength pulsed in her veins, unyielding. Sirens wailed distant, her breath shallowing, but her spirit roared silent, unbroken, ready to rise. As darkness edged in, a shadow loomed, Victor's form, his shout piercing the haze, pulling her from the brink into an unknown dawn. "I'm sorry! Wake up, damn it!" Victor barked, his hands shaking, Aisha's shoulders in the sterile hospital room, the beep of monitors slicing the air like accusations. Her eyes snapped open, fury igniting instantly. "You? Here! Get out!" She bolted upright, IV lines tugging, her voice a whip crack echoing off the walls. Victor recoiled but held ground, his face pale under the fluorescent glare. "I found you, on that bench. You were dying." Aisha's fist clenched the sheets, knuckles whitening, pain radiating from her chest. "Dying because of you. Fired me like trash. People like you, remember?" Her words struck, laced with the raw edge of betrayal, her dark eyes boring into his. Victor's throat tightened, guilt slamming him. "I was wrong. Blind. The vial. Your grandmother's meds. I get it now." He paced, boots thudding, his suit rumpled from the vigil. "Doctors said hypothermia, pneumonia edging in. Another hour. Gone." She laughed bitterly, the sound jagged. "And now? Pity party? Too late." Memories flooded her, the bench's icy grip, her daughter's distant voice, the endless fight against men like him who saw skin first worth last. Victor stopped, leaning in. "Not pity, responsibility. I called the ambulance, stayed through the night. Let me fix this." Aisha's jaw locked, rage simmering. "Fix? With what? Money? You think that's enough?" She swung her legs over the bed, wincing as dizziness hit, but defiance propelled her. "I want answers. Why fire me without a word?" He exhaled sharply, sitting on the chair's edge, his posture cracking. "Arrogance. Assumed laziness. Never asked." His voice dropped, raw. "But seeing you there, it gutted me." Aisha's breath hitched, skepticism warring with exhaustion. "Prove it. Help my family. Meds for Gran. Tuition for my girl. And your company, change it. No more firing without cause, especially us black workers you overlook." Victor's eyes widened, the demands hitting like blows. "Done. All of it. Stay at my place to recover. Guest suite, no strings." She shook her head. "Not charity. Conditions. I leave when ready, and you listen to my story. Really listen." He nodded, tension easing slightly. "Agreed. Whatever it takes." As nurses bustled in, checking vitals, Aisha reached for water, her hand brushing an old envelope from her coat pocket, tattered, addressed to her mother years ago, postmarked Chicago. It slipped open in the shuffle, a faded letter tumbling out. Victor caught it mid-fall, his fingers freezing on the paper. "This, from my father's old address?" Aisha snatched it back, but her eyes scanned the lines. "He left us, but the child's yours, hidden to protect his empire." Her pulse thundered, confusion crashing. "What? This was Mom's. Who's he?" Victor's face drained of color, the letter's words searing. "My father. The affair in New Orleans. This says, a child." He stared at her, resemblance slamming home. Same determined chin, same fire. Aisha's grip tightened, shock rippling. "No, impossible." But doubt crept, the letter's ink blurring in her vision. Victor pocketed a copy instinctively, his mind racing. "We need to know. Tests, records, together." She nodded warily, alliance forming in the tension. "Fine, but if it's true, you owe more than apologies." The room hummed with unspoken threats, the letter a fuse lit. pulling them deeper into the shadows of blood and betrayal. As dawn broke through the blinds, their packs sealed, but the envelope's secrets whispered of storms ahead. You think you can waltz in here, some black maid claiming blood ties, and steal what's mine? Eleanor Harlan hissed, her voice venomous as she burst into Victor's office, high heels stabbing the carpet like daggers. Aisha froze mid-sentence, her hand clutching the letter, fury igniting in her chest. Victor shot up from his desk, blocking Eleanor's path. Aunt Eleanor, what the hell? This is private. Eleanor's lips curled, eyes raking over Aisha with naked disdain. Private? You've dragged this outsider into our family secrets. Your father's bastard child? Laughable. She'd ruin the Harlan name. Trash from the streets, begging for scraps. Aisha's nails dug into her palms, blood welling, her breath short and sharp. You don't know me, or what that letter proves. Eleanor laughed, sharp as glass shattering. Proof? A crumpled rag from a dead woman? I've known about your mother's fling for years, kept it buried to protect the empire. But you? You're a threat now. Victor stepped closer, his fist balling. Enough. We're testing DNA. If she's my half-sister... Eleanor cut him off, her finger jabbing his chest. Sister? She'd dilute everything. Our board, our stocks. I've built this too, boy. Your father promised me control if he faltered. No half-breed gets a piece. The slur hit Aisha like a slap, her jaw clenching until it ached. Memories of slurs in New Orleans alleys surging back. She lunged forward. Half-breed? Say it again. Victor grabbed her arm, holding her back, his own rage boiling. Aunt, leave. Now. But Eleanor circled the desk, snatching the letter, her rings glinting like claws. You dig this up? You both die in the dirt. I've got plans. Accidents happen in Chicago winters. Slippery roads, faulty brakes. Her threat hung, cold and calculated, her eyes dead as steel. Aisha's pulse thundered, fear twisting with defiance. You'd kill family? For money? Eleanor smirked. You're not family, just a mistake surfacing. And Victor? Softening for her? Pathetic. I'll handle the board. Cut you out if needed. She tore a corner of the letter, tossing it like confetti. Victor's face hardened, shoving her toward the door. Out, or I call security. Eleanor paused at the threshold, her glare lethal. Watch your backs. Secrets like hers. They bury people. The door slammed, echoing like a gunshot. Aisha sank into a chair, her hands trembling, the torn letter fragment in her lap. She's dangerous. Knew about Mom all along. Victor paced, his knuckles white. Yeah, and plotting more. We need proof. Fast. Their eyes met, alliance forged in fire. But Eleanor's shadow lingered, a predator circling, ready to strike in the silence that followed. She's not bluffing. Get that DNA test now, or she'll bury us both. Aisha snapped, slamming the torn letter fragment onto Victor's desk, her fingers trembling with fury. Victor's eyes narrowed, snatching his phone. Already on it. Lab rush. Results in 48 hours. He dialed, voice clipped. Harlan here. Private DNA, stat, samples incoming. Aisha paced, her boots thudding, adrenaline surging like lava. That slur, half-breed, she's known forever. Dig into her. Emails, calls, everything. Victor nodded, his jaw set, pulling up encrypted files on his laptop. Start with Dad's old records. He kept journals, hidden in the vault. They stormed to the basement safe, Victor punching codes with knuckles white. The door hissed open, shelves groaning under dusty boxes. Aisha rifled through, dust stinging her eyes, her breath short. Here, ledger from '89, New Orleans trip. Med-El, your mom's initial? Victor grabbed it, pages flipping furiously. Lila, my mother's name was crossed out, replaced with affair ended, child possible. Damn her. Eleanor signed off on payments. Hush money? Aisha's pulse hammered, snatching a faded check stub. To my mom, $5,000 monthly. Stopped after her death. Accident or murder. Victor's fist crashed into the wall, plaster cracking. Eleanor's handwriting on the notes. Contain the threat. We need more. They bolted upstairs, Victor hacking into family servers, fingers flying over keys. Firewall down, her emails. Aisha leaned in, her shoulder brushing his, tension electric. Look, message to a PI. Track the bastard kid. Report movements. Victor's face paled. Dated last week. She's been watching you. Aisha's stomach twisted, rage boiling. My apartment fire last month? Not random. She dialed her daughter, voice urgent. Baby, lock doors. Aunt's watching. Stay put. The girl's fear echoed back. Mom? What's wrong? Aisha hung up, eyes blazing. Get protection, now! Victor summoned his security chief, barking orders. Tail Eleanor. Bugs on her car, phone taps, off books. The chief nodded, vanishing into the shadows. Hours blurred, coffee cooling untouched. Screens glowing with data. Aisha cross-referenced hospital records, her fingers numb. Mom's death, car crash, brake failure, mechanics report buried. Victor slammed the desk. Eleanor's signature on the file. Case closed. She's covering tracks. A ping hit, DNA prelims. Match probability high. You're my sister. Aisha's breath caught, tears stinging but unshed. Then she's after us both. Inheritance split? She loses millions. They dove deeper, Victor cracking offshore accounts. Transfers to hitmen coded as consultants. Aisha's nails dug into her chair arms. One name, Rocco Vance, ex-con, Chicago ties. Victor's eyes hardened. We confront him. They geared up, slipping out back doors, hoods pulled low. Cab to a dive bar, Rocco's haunt. Inside, smoke choked the air. Aisha spotted him, hulking at the counter. You, Eleanor's errand boy. Rocco spun, knife flashing. Who asks? Victor lunged, pinning his arm. The ones you tailed, spill, or we call cops. Rocco snarled, twisting free, fists swinging. Aisha dodged, knee slamming his gut. He doubled over, gasping. She paid to watch the maid. Said scared her off. Fire was a warning. Victor's chokehold tightened. And the crash? Mom's death? Rocco coughed. Her orders. Tampered brakes. Wanted the kid gone quiet. Aisha's vision reddened, fist connecting with his jaw. Bone crunching. You killed her! Security burst in, hauling Rocco away. Back in the car, Aisha shook, sobs breaking. Proof, but dangerous. Victor gripped the wheel, knuckles bleeding. We have tapes now, his confession recorded. They raced home, piecing clues. Emails linking Eleanor to the mechanic, bank wires to Rocco. Full picture, betrayal since Dad's will. She forged changes, cut you out. Aisha's resolve steelened, wiping tears. Confront her. Too soon. More leverage. A late-night call. Chief reporting. Bug picked up. Eleanor's meeting a board mole. Plotting takeover if you expose. Victor's laugh is bitter. Predictable. We bugged the meat. They infiltrated the warehouse the next day. Shadows cloaking them. Eleanor hissed to the mole. The girl's a fraud. Eliminate them. Accident. Clean. Aisha's recorder captured every word, her heart pounding. They slipped out, evidence mounting like a tidal wave. Enough to bury her, Victor growled, but Aisha's hand froze on a final file. Photo of Eleanor with Dad, her smile predatory. She loved him. Jealousy drove this. Victor nodded, fury etched. Ends now. Their alliance is unbreakable, clues forming a noose. But Eleanor's web tightened, a final strike lurking in the dark. You're the monster who orchestrated it all. Admit it, Aisha snarled, shoving the warehouse recording device into Eleanor's face during a forced confrontation in her lavish study, the tape hissing with damning words. Eleanor's eyes widened, her composure shattering like fragile glass, her hands snatching at the player. You little thief, give that here. Victor blocked her, his grip iron on her wrist. No more lies. We heard everything. Eliminate them. Accident clean. Spill the rest. Eleanor's face twisted, venom spilling. Fine. Your precious sister? Your father's filth. He bedded her mother in New Orleans. A heap fling while building the empire. I found out. Confronted him. He begged forgiveness. Promised to cut ties. Aisha's breath seized, fists pounding the desk, wood splintering under her knuckles. Lies! Mom said he loved her. Left because of you. Eleanor laughed, cold and cutting. Love? He chose money. I made sure. Threatened scandal. Forced him to pay her off. But she wouldn't stay quiet, demanding more for the brat. You. Victor's chest heaved, betrayal knifing deep. You forged the will. Cut her out. Eleanor's nails dug into her palms, blood trickling. Yes. He weakened, wanted to recognize her. I couldn't let that half-breed siphon our fortune. So I arranged the accident. Brakes cut on her car. Clean kill. Mechanic on payroll. Aisha lunged, slamming Eleanor against the bookshelf, books cascading like accusations. You murdered her. For what? Greed? She was pregnant? No, I was the child. Tears burned her cheeks, but rage fueled her hold, Eleanor's throat bobbing under pressure. Victor yanked Aisha back, his own voice thundering. Proof! Where? Eleanor gasped, freed but cornered, pulling a hidden drawer. Here, his confession letter. Eleanor handled it. Debt paid. The paper trembled in her hand, ink faded but damning. Details of the affair, the payoff, the crash ordered to silence. He signed off. Weak man. I saved the family. Aisha snatched it, scanning lines that ripped her world apart. Dates matching her birth, payments ceasing post-crash. He knew about me. And let you kill her? Her knees buckled, Victor catching her, his arms steady but shaking. Eleanor's sneer returned. He regretted nothing. Empire first. You'd have dragged us down. Black bastard in the boardroom? Unthinkable. Victor's fist connected with the wall beside her head, plaster exploding. You're done. This goes to the cops. But Eleanor whispered lethal. Touch me and my contingencies activate. Hit on your sister tonight. Aisha's eyes blazed, shoving the letter into her pocket. Try it. We're exposing you. They stormed out, Eleanor's cackle trailing. You can't outrun blood. In the car, Aisha clutched the confession, sobs racking her frame. He betrayed us both. Your dad, her pawn. Victor's grip on the wheel whitened, speed surging. Worse, she poisoned him too. Autopsy hints, overdose, ruled suicide. She killed him for full control. Aisha's head snapped up, pieces locking. Will the changes post-death? Forged by her. Fury united them, the letter a weapon forged in fire. But as headlights pierced the night, a tailing car's shadow loomed. Eleanor's final play unfolding, danger closing in like jaws. You filthy half-breed, stay away from my empire, or I'll end you like I ended your whore mother. Eleanor spat, her voice a razor slicing through the dim warehouse air as she confronted Aisha and Victor in the shadowed corner, her hired thugs flanking her like wolves. Aisha's fist clenched, nails drawing blood from her palms, fury exploding in her chest. You admit it now? Murderer! She charged forward, shoulder slamming into Eleanor's guard, the man grunting as he staggered back. Victor yanked his gun from his coat, concealed carry he'd grabbed earlier, aiming steady. Back off, Aunt. We have your confession, the tapes, it's over. Eleanor's laugh echoed, sharp and unhinged, her hands signaling, Over? Boys, take them. The thugs lunged, one tackling Victor, the pistol skidding across concrete. Victor's elbow cracked into the attacker's nose, blood spraying, the man howling as he reeled. Aisha dodged a swinging fist, her knee driving into another's groin, dropping him wheezing. Victor, behind you, she yelled, spotting a third with a knife glinting. He twisted, grabbing the blade arm, bones crunching under his grip. The thug screamed, knife clattering. Eleanor circled, her heels clicking like countdowns. You think blood ties save you? Your father begged too, before I slipped the poison in his drink. Aisha's vision tunneled, rage propelling her. She grabbed Eleanor's collar, slamming her against a crate. Poison? You killed him. Your own brother. Eleanor's nails raked Aisha's face, drawing welts that burned like fire. He was weak, wanted to legitimize you, split the fortune. I couldn't allow it. Victor broke free, pinning his assailant with a chokehold until the man slumped unconscious. Aisha, get the letter. But Eleanor kicked free, snatching a loose pipe, swinging wildly. It connected with Aisha's side, ribs cracking, pain lancing through her like lightning. She gasped, doubling over, breath ragged. "You won't win," Victor roared, tackling Eleanor, the pipe flying. They rolled, her teeth sinking into his shoulder, blood soaking his shirt. He pinned her wrists. "Confess, all of it." The remaining thug recovered, grabbing Aisha from behind, arm around her throat, squeezing. Her vision spotted, elbows flailing backward, connecting with his eye socket, a wet pop sounded. He loosened and she stomped his instep, bone snapping. Free, she kicked his knee, dropping him. "Victor, cuffs!" He tossed zip ties from his pocket, binding Eleanor's hands as she thrashed. "You'll pay! My board! They'll bury you!" Her spits landed on his face, but he wiped them, unyielding. Sirens wailed distant, anonymous tip Victor had placed earlier. Aisha clutched her side, blood trickling from scratches, but defiance burned bright. "We have more. Rocco's testimony, the mechanic's logs." Eleanor's eyes darted, panic cracking her facade. "You don't understand. The crash? I drove the car myself, watched her swerve off the road." Aisha's knees weakened, sobs choking her. "Monster!" She slapped Eleanor, cheek reddening. Victor hauled her up. "Cops are coming. Hold on." But Eleanor headbutted him, breaking free momentarily, scrambling for the dropped knife. Victor dove, wrestling her down, the blade inches from his throat. Aisha stomped her hand, fingers crunching. Eleanor shrieked, "I'll kill you both!" Police lights flashed outside, doors bursting open. Officers swarmed, guns drawn. "Freeze!" Victor released her, hands up but pointed. "She's the killer. Arrest her!" Aisha leaned on him, pain throbbing, their breaths sinking in exhaustion. Eleanor's cuffs clicked, her glare promising vengeance. But the net tightened, escape slipping away like sand. "You think handcuffs stop me? My safe holds the real bombs. Destroy them, or watch your world burn." Eleanor screamed from the squad car, her voice piercing the chaos as officers dragged her away. Her eyes locked on Aisha and Victor like daggers. Aisha clutched her cracked ribs, pain shooting through her side with every breath, but she shoved Victor. "The safe? She means it. We find it now, or she walks free." Victor wiped blood from his bitten shoulder, wincing, his gun holstered, as cops swarmed the warehouse. "Her penthouse. I know the code. Old family vault. Move." They bolted to his car, tires screeching, dodging police barriers. Aisha's phone buzzed, her daughter. "Mom, cops on the news. Eleanor's arrest? You okay?" Aisha's voice cracked. "Safe, baby. Stay hidden." She hung up, fists pounding the dashboard. "That witch poisoned Dad, crashed Mom. Proof's there. Dig it out." Victor swerved through traffic, horns blaring. Blueprints in my head, hidden panel in her study, but guards loyal to her. Aisha's eyes hardened. "We take them down, no mercy." They screeched to a halt at Eleanor's tower, badges flashed. Victor's pull as CEO. Security hesitated. "Ma'am's orders. No entry." Victor's fist flew, clocking the lead guard, the man crumpling. Aisha grabbed his keys, kneeing another in the gut as he charged. He wheezed, doubling over. She zip-tied him swiftly. "Elevator, now!" They rode up, hearts thundering, Victor picking the penthouse lock with a tool from his pocket. Door clicked. They burst in, lights low, air thick with tension. Study first. Bookshelves toppled from earlier scuffle. Victor shoved a desk aside, revealing a wall seam. "Code. Dad's birthday." Panel hissed open, safe gleaming. Aisha spun the dial, but alarms wailed. Booby trap. "Damn, override!" Victor hacked the keypad, fingers blurring, sweat beading. Click, open. Files spilled. Ledgers, photos, tapes. Aisha rifled through, breath hitching. "Here, autopsy override. Poison traces erased. Her signature." Victor snatched a USB. "Recordings, Dad's last words. Eleanor, you did this. For the will." His voice broke, playing it. Faint gasps, accusations clear. A thug burst in, Eleanor's backup, gun drawn. "Hands up!" Aisha dove behind the desk, Victor rolling, grabbing a lamp base as a weapon. Swing, connected with the intruder's wrist, gun flying. The man roared, tackling Victor, fists pummeling. Aisha leapt, choking him from behind, arm locked tight. He thrashed, elbowing her ribs. Agony exploded, but she held, knees digging into his back. Victor kneed his groin, the thug collapsing, gasping. They bound him, Aisha panting. More coming, grab everything. Pockets stuffed with docs, forged wills, wire transfers to killers, photos of the crash scene, Eleanor's car tailing Mom's. Aisha's tears fell on one, Mom's mangled vehicle, Eleanor's license plate blurred but visible. She was there, watched her die. Victor's rage peaked, smashing a vase. Enough for life sentences. Sirens neared. More cops tipped off. But a final envelope. Contingency, burn on capture. Aisha tore it open, hit list. Her name, Victor's, daughters. She planned to erase us all. Victor pocketed it, eyes steel. We end this. They fled downstairs, alarms blaring, dodging another guard. Aisha punched his jaw, dropping him cold. Out to the street, evidence clutched like lifelines. Victor dialed the DA. Full dossier, incoming. Eleanor's empire crumbles. Aisha leaned on him, ribs throbbing, but triumph surged. For Mom, for Dad. As cop cars pulled up, handing over the hall, Eleanor's web unraveled in their hands, the final nail ready for the coffin. But boardroom awaited, her allies lurking, the Vax Tran brewing like thunder. She's a liar, murderer of my own blood. And here's the proof, Victor thundered, slamming the USB drive onto the boardroom table, his voice booming over the assembled suits, projectors flickering to life with damning footage. Eleanor's face drained white from her seat at the head, handcuffs glinting under conference lights as federal agents flanked her, pre-arrest hold from the DA's tip. You can't! This is rigged, she shrieked, lunging for the drive. But an agent pinned her arms, her chair scraping like nails on chalk. Aisha stepped forward, ribs bandaged but stance unyielding, her eyes locked on the room. Play it. The screen ignited, Eleanor's voice crackling from the warehouse tape. I drove the car myself, watched her swerve off. Gas rippled, board members shifting, ties loosening in shock. Victor advanced, pointing. She poisoned Dad, forged the will. Ledgers here, payments to killers, crash photos with her plate. He scattered documents, papers fluttering like confessions. One exec snatched a sheet, face paling. This implicates us all? Offshore accounts? Eleanor's snarl cut through. Lies! That half-breed fabricated it! Jealous maid! Aisha's fist slammed the table, wood vibrating. Half-breed? Your slur seals it. DNA confirms. I'm his daughter. You erased me for greed. She thrust the confession letter forward, the room's murmurs swelling to outrage. Victor cued Dad's dying audio. Faint wheezes. Eleanor, you did this. For the will. Eleanor's eyes darted, sweat beading. Edited. Fake. But Victor silenced her with a glare. Rocco's testimony, your hitman. Mechanics logs. Brakes cut on your order. The lead board member stood, face thunderous. Eleanor, explain. She twisted, spitting. He weakened the company, wanted to split with her trash bloodline. Aisha charged, grabbing her collar. Trash? You watched Mom die, smashed her car off the road. Agents pulled her back, but the room erupted. Arrest her! Vote her out! Victor raised the hit list envelope. Contingencies, hits on us, even my niece. She's a killer. Eleanor's composure cracked, sobs faking. I protected the family. But Aisha played the final card, Rocco's recorded confession. She ordered the brakes, wanted the kid gone. The board recoiled, one dialing lawyers. We're done. Motion to remove. Votes flew, unanimous. Eleanor's screams pierced. You'll regret. My contingencies activate now. Victor smirked, holding up her phone, seized earlier. Deactivated. Your empire crumbles. Agents cuffed her tighter, dragging her out as she kicked, heels gouging the floor. No, the Harlan name, mine. The door slammed, silence crashing. Aisha exhaled, tears streaming, but chin high. For Mom, justice. Victor gripped her shoulder, voice low. And Dad, we're family now. Board members nodded, one extending a hand. CEO Harlan, full control. Reforms start today. Aisha's resolve burned. No more oversights. Fair pay. No bias. As agents hauled evidence boxes, the room transformed. Allies emerging from shadows. Eleanor's portrait crashed from the wall, glass shattering like her reign. Victor and Aisha stood tall, the reversal complete, but scars throbbed, a new dawn breaking through the boardroom windows. You'll rot in hell for what you did to our blood, confess every sin, or I'll make sure the jury hears your screams. Aisha snarled, slamming her fist on the courtroom barrier, her voice echoing like a gunshot as Eleanor stood in the dock, chains rattling, her once impeccable suit wrinkled and defeated. Eleanor's eyes flashed hatred, lips curling. Confess? Tara saying trash like you? Never. The judge's gavel cracked down, silencing the gallery's gas. Order! Defendant! Plea! Victor leaned forward from the witness stand, his shoulder bandaged but gaze lethal. Guilty on all counts. Murder, forgery, conspiracy. Prosecutors projected the evidence. Tapes blaring Eleanor's voice. I watched her die. Photos of tampered brakes, poisoned vials matching Dad's autopsy. Eleanor's lawyer objected, voice cracking. Circumstantial? But Aisha shot up. Circumstantial? Your client's hit list, my daughter's name. She thrust the envelope forward, jury members recoiling, one woman's hand flying to her mouth. Eleanor's facade crumbled, knees buckling as agents hauled in Rocco, shackled, his face bruised. She ordered it all. Crash, poison, tails. He pointed finger trembling. Eleanor lunged against her restraints. Traitor, I paid you. The courtroom erupted, bailiffs wrestling her back, her nails scraping wood. The judge's voice boomed. Enough! Verdict! The jury foreman stood, paper shaking. Guilty, first-degree murder, 2 counts, forgery, attempted hits. Cheers mixed with sobs. Aisha's tears streamed, but she wiped them fiercely, hugging her daughter, who clutched Grand's photo. Victor testified next, voice steel. She killed our father, my sister erased for greed. Eleanor spat. Sister? That black mistake ruins us. Gasps swelled. The judge hammered. Contempt, life without parole. Eleanor's screams pierced. No! The Empire! Mine! Guards dragged her out, doors slamming, her wails fading to echoes. Aisha collapsed into Victor's arms, ribs aching but heart surging. Justice! For Mom! He nodded, fist clenching. And Dad! Chains broken. Outside, the press swarmed, flashes blinding. Aisha faced the Ix chin high. No more silence. She pays. Lifetime in a cell, Victor added. Harlan Tech cleans house. Her assets seized, donated. Board allies nodded from the sidelines. Reform signed. Aisha's daughter squeezed her hand. Gran smiles now. Gran, frail but eyes bright, wheeled forward. Child, you fought. Aisha knelt, hugging tight, sobs breaking free. Victor watched, guilt easing, family forging in fire. The gavel's final echo lingered, knots unraveling. Will restored, inheritance split fair. Eleanor's contingencies dismantled, hitmen arrested, moles fired. Aisha exhaled, scars throbbing but healing. It's done. Victor gripped her shoulder. But rebuilding starts. As the court emptied, their steps synced, a new path unfolding, hope flickering like dawn after a storm. I'll burn every trace of your poison from this company, starting now, or watch me tear it down myself. Victor roared at the lingering board remnants in the revamped Harlan Tech headquarters, his fist pounding the podium, echoes rippling through the packed auditorium of employees, their faces a mix of shock and relief. Aisha stood beside him, ribs healed but scars itching, her voice cutting in. No more shadows. We rebuild. For the overlooked, the fired without cause. Victor nodded, sweat beading, pulling up slides. New fund, $50 million for Black workers displaced, scholarships for their kids, health clinics in Chicago South Side. The crowd murmured, with one Black janitor standing. Words or action? Victor's jaw tightened, guilt flaring. Action! I'm donating my inheritance share, half to the fund. Gasps surged. Aisha gripped the mic. And mine, full, no half measures. They signed deeds live, projectors beaming the transfers, applause thundering. Victor paced, energy electric. Policy overhaul, mandatory bias training, fair firing protocols, living wages starting today. He fired a holdout exec on the spot. Out, your complicity ends. The man slunk away, doors slamming. Aisha dove in, organizing teams. Volunteers, join me. We'll hit shelters, hand out aid. She led a convoy that night, trucks loaded with blankets, meds, and job offers. At the first stop, a woman clutched her child. You? The maid on the news? Aisha knelt, hugging tight. Was. Now leading. Take this. Interview tomorrow. Tears flowed. The woman's grip crushed Aisha's hand. Victor unloaded crates, his suit dirtied, back aching, but his resolve iron. For Dad's sins and mine. A resident sneered. Rich boy playing hero? Victor met his eyes. Guilty, but watch me prove it. Weeks blurred. Victor in boardrooms, slashing exec perks, redirecting to employee funds. No bonuses till equality audits pass. Protests erupted from the old guard. He quashed them, firing 3. Aisha hit the streets daily, Gran wheeling beside her, distributing food. Child, you're fire, Gran whispered, hand squeezing. Aisha's daughter joined, rallying the youth. Mom taught endurance. We teach change. They launched workshops, from invisible to indispensable, training fired workers, resumes flying. Victor flew to New Orleans, Aisha at his side, unveiling a community center in Mom's name. Harlan Healing Hub, free care, job training. Locals cheered. Aisha cut the ribbon, tears stinging. For the mothers erased. Victor knelt at Mom's grave, dirt under nails. I failed you, but not anymore. Back in Chicago, he visited shelters weekly, serving meals, listening. One man gripped his arm. Fired like her, bias. Victor hired him on the spot. Start Monday. Media swarmed. Aisha faced cameras. Not charity reparation, Victor added. Company profits down 10%? Worth it for souls saved. They expanded, partnerships with BLM groups, audits exposing rivals' biases. Aisha's voice boomed at Gallus. We lift or fall together. Victor donated art collections, funding homes for the homeless. Eleanor's greed? Buried. Our hope? Rising. Challenges hit. Lawsuits from Eleanor's allies. Victor fought in court, winning, and assets were seized for the fund. Aisha collapsed one night, exhaustion clawing. Worth it? Victor pulled her up. Every scar. They pressed on, funds growing to $100 million, lives transformed. A fired maid now manager, kids in college. Gran smiled from her new home. You two healed the break. As crowds chanted their names at a rally, Aisha and Victor linked arms, the fire of redemption burning bright, a legacy forging ahead. You call that justice? I'll claw my way back. Watch your backs, you ungrateful bastards. Eleanor's final jailhouse rant echoed through the phone speaker as Victor hung up, his fist smashing the receiver, plastic cracking under the force. Aisha grabbed his arm, her touch steady, eyes fierce. Let her rot. We're done carrying her poison. They stood in the newly christened Harlan Community Center, walls alive with murals of risen families. Her daughter's laughter ringing from the playground outside. Victor's shoulders slumped, but hope ignited. Yeah, time to live it. Months flew by, Aisha at the helm of reforms, firing holdouts who clung to old biases, her voice booming in meetings. No more firing for skin or silence. Prove it or out. One exec balked. Costs soar, she slammed files. Lives over ledgers. Victor backed her, donating fleets for transport in poor neighborhoods, shuttling workers to jobs. For the ones I ignored, like you. Aisha's ribs scarred but strong. She hugged him tight. Brother now, family forged. Gran wheeled in daily, storytelling circles with elders, her frail hands gripping kids. Listen close, strength in endurance. Aisha's daughter thrived, college dean on speed dial thanks to scholarships. Mom, you changed everything. Aisha wiped tears, pulling her close. We did. No more alone. Victor visited graves weekly, laying flowers at Dad's and Mom's, whispers raw. I see now. Blood binds, not breaks. He launched mentorships, pairing execs with street youth, his own session brutally honest. I fired her for nothing. Learn from my blindness. Rallies swelled. Aisha on stage, mic gripped. Power lifts, not crushes. See the invisible. Ask. Act. Crowds roared, signs waving. Harlan heals. Victor beside her, voice thundering. Greed killed my family. Hope revives it. They unveiled plaques, one at the bench where he found her, inscribed from cold to kin. Aisha touched it, snow long melted. Started here, ends in light. Media hailed them. Siblings rewrite empire. But private moments stung. Aisha's nightmares of crashes, Victor's of poison. They talked nights away, tea steaming. Forgive yourself, she urged. We rise together. The fund exploded. $200 million. Homes built. Clinics saving lives. A fired maid returned as VP, hugging Aisha. You saw me. Victor traveled, speaking at conferences. Bias blinds, open eyes save souls. Back home, family dinners. Grand's gumbo simmering, laughter exploding. Daughter teased Victor. Uncle, dance! He spun her, awkward but free. Aisha watched, heart swelling. This, our win. One anniversary eve, at the Center's gala, Aisha took the podium. I was the maid sleeping cold, fired for minutes, erased for blood. But one act sparked change. Victor joined, arm linked. I was the blind CEO. Now I see. Justice demands action, not apologies. Applause thundered. Donors pledged millions. Off stage, Grand pulled them close. Lesson. Family isn't born. Built through fire. Aisha nodded, tears flowing. And hope? It endures. Years etched lines, but fire burned. Aisha leading national reforms. Victor lobbying laws against bias. Daughter graduated, joining the fight. Your legacy, Mom. At the bench plaque, now a monument, Aisha and Victor sat yearly. Remember the cold? He asked. Always. Teaches warmth. They high-fived unbreakable. Grand passed peacefully, her last words. You healed us. Funeral crowds swelled, stories shared. In quiet dawns, Aisha wrote journals. Power corrupts if blind. See, lift, change. Victor read them, nodding. Our Bible. The center thrived, kids chanting. From bench to boardroom. A final rally. Aisha's voice soared. Lesson eternal. One oversight kills, one hand saves. Choose to see. Build bridges, not walls. Victor echoed. Family expands. Include the overlooked. As fireworks lit the sky, their embrace sealed it. From firing to forging, betrayal to bond, cold bench to warm legacy. Hope pulsed eternal, a flame passed on. In the end, Aisha and Victor's story reminds us that true power lies not in wealth or status, but in seeing the humanity in others, turning blindness into empathy, injustice into redemption, and using our influence to lift those we've overlooked, creating a legacy of dignity and change for all. Now it's your turn. Share in the comments below. What part of this tale resonated with you, or have you experienced a moment of unexpected kinship that transformed your life? We'd love to hear your thoughts and stories. Thank you for watching and joining us on this journey. If it moved you, hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more inspiring tales. See you in the next one. Stay kind and keep seeing the good in everyone.